Money doesn't even the playing field. And if you are a young man, I'm sorry, money doesn't even the playing field. So, and this message is to men, or even to people that have a strong masculine energy. Money does not even the playing field when it comes to love. So I met this young man, and I love him to death already. um, and we were talking. I ended up, I met this man at a club. Let's talk about love in the club. No, I'm just kidding. But I met him at this club, and he was this great person. Had a lot of energy, smiles for days. And he inspired me to write a letter. And it was a message that I channeled, that I told him that he inspired me, and I sent him the message via email. I typed it up the next day and sent it to him. So he has the message already via email. But I would want to say to, like I said, to men and to people with masculine energy, and to anybody that thinks that money levels out the playing field because they had rejection, or they were not accepted, or they were awkward in some kind of way. People made them feel isolated and that they don't fit in. You can't say, well, because I don't fit in, I'm just going to make a lot of money, and then when these people are kind of hurting a little bit, then they'll want me. That's a setup. If you ever feel like you need to even out the playing field, that's a field you don't belong in. You don't belong on that field, period. If you're in the energy of, well, if I do better, if I change who I am, that will make me more acceptable or more dateable, or people will want me once I look better. People will want me when I have more money. Universe is going to show you better than I can tell you that that's a trap, and that's going to bring nothing but heartache and heartbreak. So anything that you get into thinking that this will even out the playing field is going to be heartbreak. So, and I know that that's just how energy works. And I'm saying universe can tell you better than I can show you better than I can tell you. Really, it's not universe, it's your energy. This is just how energy works. So there was a time when I was in heartbreak, and I had the opportunity to get into relationships, and people would come to me, but I knew that I was, trying to heal from heartbreak. And so I would tell the people, like, even I would explain it, like, hey, I really, appreciate you and your energy. And I would kind of explain to them about manifestation and how things work. And I know that if I am in a place right now where I'm down, I'm not feeling that good, and you're coming into my life. And a lot of times, we manifest people to come into our lives when we are, down, because we're yearning to feel better. And so we manifest somebody that's going to make us feel better. But they're only going to make us feel better for a while. And then there's going to be heartbreak and heartache when it's time for those people to move off of the path. So when these gentlemen, these guys were coming into my life, one person in particular I'll point out, I let them know, because we're already talking about energy and stuff like that. So if I'm in a place of heartache, and then I manifest you, we manifest each other, because they were in heartache as well, and going through something. I'm like, basically, whatever we manifest in heartache ends in heartache. And to the people who think that money is gonna, and good looks, hitting the gym and all that stuff is going to level out the playing field, you're hiding yourself from your true, genuine, loving soulmates. Because everybody, we have so many soulmates, and some soulmates come from past lives where they wanted to like really destroy you, and they may be here this life to finish you up. And some soulmates, are here to teach us lessons. I explained to one guy, I was like, the person you beat up on the street was your soulmate. Any person that teaches us lessons, one way for the good or for the bad, is our soulmate. So if you think that you're with somebody and you're wondering, are they my soulmate? Yes, they are, because they're teaching you lessons. But you have to be able to discern which soulmates you want to deal with. You have to determine what energy were you in when you manifested this particular soulmate, so that you can be able to decipher what lesson are they here to teach. Are they here to teach you a lesson about you don't need to be on this playing field? Because if you're trying to even out something, you're not coming from a place of wholeness. So this person is not going to give you wholeness. They're just going to reflect to you why you need to get back to wholeness. Because until you get back to wholeness and loving yourself, you're going to get messed up. That's all there is to it. There's no happy ending to getting into any type of relationship when you manifested it out of a place of hurt. You might get people to come in and lift you up, but it's just going to be temporary, because hurt is temporary. Hurt is something that you grow from. So the encouragement and the positivity that somebody might bring in is just going to be temporary, because hurt is temporary, and you manifested out of a temporary emotion. So the letter that I wrote to the young man and sent to him, I called it a message from your soul fam. And then I was calling it Love in the Club, because it was like a love from the club, love at the club, and it went like this. You seem a little awkward to me, and I hope you never change. If you've changed because people made you feel weird or like an outcast, I hope you change back. And the song, it was a song that just kept playing in my head by the Osley Brothers. And it was just a line in the song where they just kept saying, don't change, don't change. And that was the overall message. But anyway, so I want you to be who you are, because that's who you're supposed to be. Never try to fit in. When you try to assimilate, we can't find you. I mean, the people who really love you, we can't find you when you look like everybody else. If you hide who you are, you hide. You're hidden, and we can't find you. You have to be brave, because when you stand out, everyone can see you. But we can too. You have to be strong in your uniqueness and be who you are to protect yourself from the people who will hate you. And it will stick you to us once we find you. But you have to stop hiding. I saw your personal media page, and you have stuff in there that would scare the innocent away. And only because hindsight is 2020, I know if me came by when I was younger, I would have run from you. It's because you're hiding. You don't need to be a sexual being to prove you fit in. You're not supposed to fit in. I still see your innocence, but your sweetness is gone. They probably told you you were too sweet, and now you have something to prove. Is that who you are? People are asleep and brainwashed. Do you really want to fit into that? And turn the page. Do you really want to fit into that? Think about it. You seemed so happy when you danced. You might think, some might think you look weird, but how many other people looked as happy as you looked last night? Don't change. If you changed anything already, please change it back. It might not be easy to be who you are, but as long as you don't listen to other people, you can do it. Sometimes the road can get long, and genuine people may be hard to find, but if you change, we can't find you. And may overlook you because of the mask that you wear of popular music, trends, and styles. How can we find you? How can we find you if you don't find you first? If you don't stand in your truth, we won't be able to find you. And that was the message, because he's different. And he's supposed to be different. I let him know he has a calling on his life and a purpose. We have so many people in this world that are lazy. They are cowards. They're afraid. They listen to everything other people say. And that's okay. You know, they're there for a reason. But when you are so unique and you stand out, you are unique and you stand out for a reason. And if you change, you will not be able to get to where you're supposed to be, or it'll be delayed for a long time. And so if you don't stand out, if you have always been an outcast, that's because you're supposed to be something big. I can't imagine. Like, look at Stephen Hawkins, I believe. That's one of my daughter's biggest role models. Doesn't fit in at all. But he was highly successful before he passed. Look at all the people who are who have extremely high positions, like just for the planet. These are people that, well, some of them, it was just passed down to them. But I'm talking about for the people who were self-made, kind of. They were different. They were awkward. They still are awkward. But they have all the money and the power because somehow they didn't try to fit in. And by not trying to fit in, they were able to fulfill their title, their position, their status by not fitting in. Like CEOs of companies, they're not like the worker bees. They think differently, they act differently, and they stand out. And it's because that is who they are. And of course, if that is who you are, if you are a person that stands out because you're being who you are, you're probably, that's just who you are. And so you're going to attract to you situations where you stand out. Nobody else can be like you. So why would you try to fit in? Why would you want to be, what's his name? That's Bill Gates. Like, if you're Bill Gates, why would you try to fit in with Joe Schmo? You know, why would you try to fit in with people who are brainwashed and asleep? It's like you can't even fit in. And this is the person, as far as I can tell, like, he can't even fit in. He would really drastically have to suppress who he is to fit in. And that's really giving away his gifts. He would throw his gifts away to, I don't know, mud fight. You know, when he could own the mud and the people who, with other people who would be mud fighting, you know. So that's just something to think about.